You know that feeling? You're lying in bed, you're totally exhausted, but your legs just will not stop. It's this crazy, overwhelming urge to move them, and it just completely steals your ability to fall asleep. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in the right place. Let's get into what's actually going on here.
Yeah, ants crawling in my legs. It's such a perfect description, isn't it? That strange, creepy, crawly feeling deep down inside your legs. I'm here to tell you, it is not just in your head. It's the classic sign of a very real condition.
So that's the big question, right? Why? Why does it always seem to kick in just when you're trying to relax and go to sleep? What is actually happening inside your body to cause all this discomfort? Well, we are about to break it all down.
All right, so first things first, let's put a name to that unsettling feeling. We're going to start by defining what you're experiencing while you're awake because it has a very specific name.
Okay, so the most important word on this slide is neurological. This is huge because it means this isn't a muscle cramp and it's not a problem with your joints. Restless Leg Syndrome, or RLS, it actually starts in your nervous system. It's all about that awful feeling and that powerful urge to move, which, always gets worse when you're resting.
And people describe this feeling in so many different ways. Whether you call it crawling, tingling, pulling, or even some kind of electric buzz, these are all classic RLS. And you know the drill. You move your legs and you get a second of relief. But the moment you stop, bam, it comes right back.
Okay, so that's what's going on while you're trying to fall asleep. But what happens after you finally doze off? Well, it turns out RLS has this kind of sneaky nighttime twin that can mess up your sleep without you even realizing it. And they're called periodic limb movements, or PLMS. The huge difference here is that this happens automatically while you're asleep. You're not aware of it. These are little twitches, jerks, sometimes even full-on kicks, happening again and again, totally fragmenting your sleep.
So let's just break this down side by side. Think of it like this. RLS is the thing you feel. It's the conscious struggle that keeps you from falling asleep. PLMS is the unconscious disruption that happens while you're sleeping, and it just wrecks your sleep quality. It's why you can be in bed for 8 hours and wake up feeling totally exhausted. And get this, they are incredibly connected. A staggering 70 to 90% of people with RLS also have PLMS. It's like a 1-2 punch for bad sleep. One gets you while you're awake, the other gets you while you're asleep.
All right, so we've covered the what. Now for the really important part, the why. Why is this happening? And here's the big twist. The root cause isn't in your legs at all.
I really want to land this point because so many people get this wrong. You can stretch and massage all you want, but this is not a muscle or a joint problem. It starts in the brain. It's fundamentally neurological. The signals in your central nervous system are just getting a little crossed.
And scientists have pretty much narrowed it down to two main culprits that work together. Think of them like partners in crime: a specific brain chemical and the level of a really important mineral in your body.
First up is dopamine. You've probably heard of it as the feel-good chemical, but it's also the master regulator for smooth, controlled movement in your brain. For people with RLS, that dopamine system just isn't working quite right, especially at night. The signaling gets all jumbled, and that's what creates that powerful, unwanted urge to move.
So what's messing with the dopamine? Well, that brings us to our second key factor, iron. Iron is so much more than just something for your blood. Your brain absolutely needs it to produce and use dopamine effectively. It's like a key ingredient in a recipe. If your brain's iron stores are low, that whole dopamine system just can't work the way it's supposed to.
And this part is so crucial. You might get a standard blood test and your doctor says your iron is normal. But here's the thing. For RLS, normal might not be good enough. Doctors look at something called ferritin, which measures your iron stores. And for RLS, that number really needs to be above 75. Even if it's technically in the normal range, if it's below that, your brain could still be struggling.
Okay, I know that was a lot of science, but it all leads to the most important question. What can you actually do about it? And I've got some really good news. These conditions are very treatable, and the path to relief is actually pretty clear.
The expert-backed approach follows this simple three-step logic. The very first thing you look at is iron. Iron first. It's the foundation. After that, you look at things like sleep hygiene and lifestyle habits. And then, only if those first two aren't enough, you move on to medication.
And honestly, a lot of people find relief just from these simple changes. Cutting back on caffeine is a big one. And here's a surprising one for a lot of people. Avoid antihistamines. You know, the stuff you take for allergies? It can actually make RLS way worse. Then there are the calming things, like a good stretch or a warm bath before bed. They can make a huge difference.
Now, for people with more severe symptoms, where the iron and lifestyle stuff just isn't cutting it, medication can be a total game changer. And what's really interesting is that a common choice, gabapentin, doesn't even work on the dopamine system. Instead, it basically just tells those overexcited nerves to calm down and quiet the noise.
This is a question that, of course, comes up all the time. With all this talk about brain chemistry and your sleep being disrupted every single night, it's totally natural to wonder, is this dangerous?
So here's the deal. RLS itself is not going to harm you. But, and this is a big but, the chronic lack of sleep it causes, well, that's another story. Years and years of broken sleep can take a real toll on your heart health, your blood pressure, and just your overall quality of life. And that's why getting it treated is so important.
As we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with what I think is the single most important message of this whole explainer.
If you experience these symptoms, please listen to me. You are not being fussy. You are not making it up. You are not imagining it. This is a legitimate, recognized neurological disorder with a real biological cause. Your experience is 100% valid.
So what's the bottom line here? It's this. These conditions are common. They are real, and most importantly, they are treatable. That feeling of ants crawling in your legs is not some weird mystery that you just have to live with. It is a well-understood condition, and there is a clear path to getting your restful nights back.